Most people in the space talk about sales coaching. They post clips of themselves on calls, they break things down on a whiteboard, they tell you what to do. This video is different. What you're about to watch is an unfiltered, unedited one-on-one coaching call with one of my reps. This is a guy who came to us around 5 to 6 grand a month on an offer that was extremely inconsistent. He just didn't really have a lot of growth with it. Within 8 days, we placed him on a better offer. Within his first day, he did 20K in sales, made over 2K in commissions within 24 hours of being on the new offer. And from there, actually went on to make just under 10 grand a month. If he would have closed the deal that we did a call review on this video for, he would have made over 10K a month in commissions on his very first month on a new offer. And that's, again, why we actually do placement first training, is I don't want to train you on some random script or just some like fake scenario. We want to get you placed on a real offer and then actually do real calls, just like this one you're about to watch, a real live call recording where we can actually break down what's specifically going wrong on the calls that you're actually selling and actually giving you real actionable feedback to where you can actually take that to the field and start making more commissions quickly. I'm going to show you exactly how I diagnose what's wrong, fix it in real time, and exactly the action steps that come out of that call from just a single one-on-one coaching call. No cuts, no highlights, just the whole thing. Let's get into it. All right, yo, what's up, Coop? How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's good, bro? I'm doing good.
Cool. So we're gonna run this just kind of like a normal one-on-one call. Obviously, I already let you know beforehand. This is gonna be like on YouTube. So just for like, obviously for the audience that is watching, give them a little bit of context on like the offer that you were on when you first joined. I know you've only been in the program for a couple months, but just kind of your journey so far, just to give them a little bit of context on like the offer that you were closing on, what we kind of did when we first jumped in, and then obviously we can run a call review and actually kind of show the people what it looks like to work one-on-one with me.
Yeah, man. So I jumped in back in February, and like prior to that, I was closing on an AI, more like B2B lead gen offer. And I was constantly doing like on average like 5 or 6K a month. You know, obviously I had some higher months, like 7.5K here and there, but it was pretty consistent around that 6K mark. So I ended up reaching out to you guys. I remember like Chris called me pretty fast. And then we ended up like hopping on a call that same night, and you ended up helping me find placement on a remote cleaning offer. I mean, it was pretty fast too. It took me like 8 days or something like that to actually land like good placement. And then, I mean, once I got on that offer, it kind of ripped from there. I mean, obviously it took a little bit for the ramp up, like a week or two, but I mean, after that, it was pretty good. I mean, from what I remember, at least like my first day or like second day, I did like 20K in like one day.
And sales, obviously, not commission.
You said what?
And sales, like I don't want people thinking you made 20 racks in commission.
Oh yeah, no. 20 racks in commissions is crazy in one day. But no, 20K cash collected in a single day on like literally like my first or second day on that new offer. So I mean that was nice. Obviously, like 2K commission straight to my bank account, like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, in a single day. So like just for context too, for everybody watching this, like we do placement first with direct deposit, just because like for the most part, obviously, like you guys are going to see on this call today, like there's always things that we can improve on. Like Cooper really folded on this call that we're about to review. I wouldn't even say just to kind of like cover your bases here. Like this is not like a regular call that Cooper has. Like he did fuck this call up, which is why we're going to review it. But a lot of times it's like we could always get better. We could always get more, more skilled. We could always practice more frames, but 90% of the reason you're going to make money is like the offer, right? So he was kind of, I know you were on an offer that was pretty inconsistent. It was kind of like, I remember you told me like you guys had all these different prospects. There was like different ways you were generating leads. It was just very odd. Like you had like cold callers and appointment setters, and it was like all these different local businesses. I was like, this is such an odd offer. Where the remote cleaning offer that we got you placed on obviously is like one prospect. They're running consistent webinars. Obviously, you got to kind of see what it was like closing off of a webinar. It's a bit easier.
Yeah, webinar leads
and just
cake.
Yeah, just making sure that you're actually on the right offer first, and then from there, getting specific training, which you guys are going to see on this video, like getting you into the right offer, and then actually training you on the specific offer. So the training you're getting, we're not like practicing a script that's like some make-believe script that you're not even using, like, or just kind of, role-playing fake scenarios, but rather actually looking at your specific calls and getting right into it. So with that being said, before we kind of jump into the call, where do you feel like you kind of failed with this one? Like before we jump into the actual coaching call, like was it just like the discovery? Did you not really set a strong frame? Were you not able to like label them with the correct problem? Like where do you feel like maybe even objection handling? 'Cause I know you mentioned this was one that even though it's a biz op offer, like she did have the money and we just didn't close her. So like where did you feel like the call actually mishap before we jumped into it?
Yeah, I mean, from what I remember from this call, it was more or less just like the entirety of the call. I mean, I definitely could have done better throughout, mind you, especially in discovery. I mean, I normally do pretty good discoveries. From what I remember, this call was pretty 50-50 on that. But I normally like while I'm going through my calls, even if I do a bad discovery or anything like that, I always catch myself. I'm like, okay, yeah, that was bad. So like I try to dive a little bit deeper, maybe in some questions throughout to kind of make up for that bad discovery. And I feel like I did that at least, decently well on this call. But I mean, at the end, like I knew that she had money, she's previously told me and like, calls we've had on the phone prior that she has money available. So like the fact that I wasn't able to collect it when I knew she had money, I knew that it was obviously more of like me just not being able to kind of get her over the line. And I definitely think that, it's definitely structured on how I ran that call throughout. So, I mean, you're about to see.
Yeah. All right, cool. Real quick before we actually jump into the coaching call, just for all the skeptics out there, like actually, like, because I know you mentioned you're making between like 5 to 6K when you first jumped in. You've been in here for like less than a month. How much commissions have you made in the new offer? Like, do you have data? Do you have like an actual tracker you could show them?
All right, so this is basically what my paid out looks like. I mean, I'm owed another grand. I just got paid 1,000. I know move that over, but I mean, besides that, it's like basically 10 grand. I'm a little bit pissed off that it like wasn't right there, but it's close enough, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
so
that's
I
what we
mean,
got
not
this
yeah,
month
like
for.
9.5K. So 9.5K
Yeah,
in the first month in a brand new offer, which is technically like the
yeah.
ramp process of a new offer. Okay, word. Well, let's go ahead and look at like what happened on this call, because maybe this is the call that kept you from doing 10K. Yeah, this could have been the call that would have been 10K. So just looking at this so far, Paulina, her goal is to scale her solo cleaning LLC. So for the people watching, I know Cooper kind of touched on it earlier, but this is like a remote cleaning offer. So this is an offer where we're showing people how to pretty much run a remote business that is completely based on remote cleaning, right? So like, if I'm not mistaken, you guys are pretty much helping people take either their cleaning businesses they're currently running or someone who's brand new business opportunity into actually creating a remote cleaning business, hiring cleaners, getting the jobs and pretty much playing the middleman and making that split, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then this is obviously leads coming off of a webinar, which is, by the way, like if you guys are looking at getting into high ticket sales right now, or you're in high ticket sales and you're not on an offer that's running webinars or at least has a profitable call funnel, like these are things that you want to look at getting into a new offer is, are you going to actually have call volume? I have like a pretty much a full 12-hour course on this channel that goes over like what you should be looking at getting into an offer. But this is, for example, a superb kind of like example of what an offer you actually want to be on, where they're running webinars or spending money on webinars. You have call volume. And for example, obviously this isn't like normal, but like day 1, day 2, on an offer, Cooper's already collecting 20K because like obviously you're going to see he can get a lot better skill set wise, but because he's in the right opportunity. That's again why we do placement first, and then we're doing training based on that placement that we get him into. So let's go ahead and jump into it and see where things went wrong.
Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good here. I'm glad we're able to connect today. I mean, I do have a few notes here from your application, but I mean, as you can imagine, we are getting a ton of bookings coming through since there are those limited seats to get one-on-one help from Jaden. Now, for context, we talk to people from all different types of backgrounds, some already in business, some just getting started, and then some that have tried, other things online before that really didn't pan out. So kind of like while I'm looking through your application here, just catch me up to speed first on like how the webinar went, and then what are some like main things that you're really looking to get out of possibly working with Jaden personally?
Okay, real quick, just for the audience, good frame. Like, notice that with the frame that he's setting, he's not doing the classic, like, hey, real quick, how the beginning of this call is going to go is we're going to ask you some questions, and if you're a good fit for us, then we'll make you an offer. That shit's out. Like, it's 2026. If you're trying to set a frame that is that, like, obvious of what you're trying to do, like, it's dead. So notice how, like, the main thing that he did is he kind of addressed the 2 to 3 different people that we're probably seeing on this offer, which is like, look, we work with a lot of guys who are just kind of looking to get into this brand new. Maybe you're already running a remote cleaning business. Or you're really just trying to actually take your current cleaning business and getting it more into actual like a remote world and getting Jaden's help with that personally. I guess while we're here, like kind of walk me through how you're feeling after the webinar, what specific things you're looking for, boom, boom, boom. Very conversational. It doesn't feel structured. It almost doesn't really feel like you're setting a frame. You're just kind of framing the call by being able to actually have a real conversation and act like a human being. So far, good frame.
Okay. Well, I didn't even realize that I finished like doing the application part because I was still like contemplating whatever. But I mean, I was interested because I've kind of been I've just been doing so much of the physical work. I'm struggling to like transition. I'm doing everything myself. Yeah. Get into that. But like from the webinar, I think I kind of got that you guys are more maybe of like just like a dispatch type. You got the contractors, and you just send the people out.
Yeah. So that's basically.
So real quick, first and foremost, before we kind of get into this is a basic rule, and Cooper, you know it's about to come since this isn't your first one-on-one call. But why is she not on a computer? Why is she not on a laptop?
Yeah, no. Well, because like, okay, for this call, I definitely didn't like when I reached out to confirm. From what I remember, I know my setter like for like a little bit there, like he wasn't even asking people like to actually show up. Hey, like just, prior to our call, I just want to make sure that you're actually, you do join at a stationary location, preferably from a laptop so we can break everything down. Like he wasn't necessarily saying that. And this might have been one of the calls around that time where like I didn't know that he wasn't saying that. So when she joined, I kind of just went with it, especially because I don't think there was a lot of a lot of actual bookings on my calendar that day. So I was more just like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to take it instead of like actually pushing to get her on her computer and then maybe like just screwing up the report from the rip.
I wouldn't even say screwing with the report because the report doesn't matter that much. Like she came off an hour and a half webinar. Like it's more important to make sure that you're establishing authority up front because that way towards the end of the call, if you have to handle objections and you have to hold her accountable to what she wants on the call, it doesn't feel like she's talking to a completely different person versus like Mr. Friendly Cooper off the jump. Right. So you want to make sure that like this is your call, right? Like the prospect is here to get our help. Like she needs help. That's why she's here. So she needs to run the call within our process, within our rules. Right. So like a big part of it is like as a closer, you don't really want to depend on your setters, right? Like you should be calling and confirming
that was on
appointments.
me. And like I said, that was a bad call.
Well, there's two ways to look at it, right? Like obviously like when you're really like, I know this is early into the time that we got you placed. This is in April, but like, for example, you want to make sure you're always calling and confirming your own calls, even as a closer, even if they are triage or they already have been set. Every morning you should be waking up and calling and confirming those appointments. Hey, real quick, are you all set with the Zoom link? I know we're meeting at 2 p.m. Does that time still work for you? Cool. Real quick, I'll get you on the phone as well. Just make sure you're there at a laptop, stationary. You're not moving, not driving your car. Just because again, we're going to be going through a lot of specific things, opening up our screen, sharing with you how we actually run this. I want to make sure that you're able to kind of get the most out of the call. Would that help you out? Can you be there at a laptop with me? The reason for that is you want to put it in their best interest to actually be there. And if someone's on their phone, and I mean, this was what, like a $5,000 to $7,000 pitch.
Yeah, this was a $5,000 one, and yeah, having them on the phone is never good.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible to not close somebody on the phone, but like you're gonna be much like the fact that someone's gonna go on a FaceTime and drop $5,000 an hour later is much less likely than if like you're able to get them stationary at a laptop where they're taking it a bit more seriously. And obviously along with that, like setting those closure rules early, like you want to make sure decision makers are gonna be there. You want to make sure they're gonna have the full time allotted. There's a lot of things that you want to make sure before you even get into that call, like some pre-call assets and just some pre-call stuff is like two things. Number one, you want to call and confirm them the morning of that the time they're going to be there. They're going to be at a laptop, all the things that we just went over, and they're going to have the allotted time for that meeting. They're going to have decision makers there, right? So you're just eliminating the objections that are like the bullshit that'll get in the way, even if you have a really good sales call.
Yeah.
The next thing on top of that is you also want to make sure, for example, that with someone like this is they actually have a decent idea on like what this call is going to be about. Cause she just came off of a webinar. She probably got like somewhat triage, but you can already tell from the jump. She's like, yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys kind of do like dispatch type. Like she doesn't really like, this is part of the thing with BizOp, right? Is like, they'll sit through a full webinar, yet they still don't really fully understand what we're doing, which is again, why you want to kind of do that in the morning of and get them on the phone first, because you want to get them some pre-call assets. Because you want to educate them as much as possible before they show up in your sales call, so your sales call doesn't turn into a full education call. So what do I mean by that? This is specifically mainly, especially if you're selling BizOp. I'm not saying every B2C lead is like slow, but like with BizOp, and which just means business opportunity, by the way, is you want to make sure that you can get as much education up front. That's what webinars are kind of for with a lot of BizOp offers, but also usually there's going to be pre-call assets. There's going to be pre-call videos. There's going to be FAQ videos that are answering a lot of top questions and concerns. So in that morning call or in that text, however you can get a hold of them, you want to frame all those things in their best interest so they actually do it. Not just like, hey, this is what's required, but like, this is why you should do it. It's going to help you, right? Framing things in their best interest, which is why we frame like, hey, make sure you're at a laptop or computer or stationary. We have a lot of things that we're going to show you. That way you're able to really understand what specifically is going on. And you can actually kind of have all the data in front of you to understand what we're doing. Oh, and on top of that, just before we do jump on, I'm going to send you over a link. Jaden actually goes over all the specific things, some of the most common questions and concerns that we hear. I would definitely take a look at that. It's just going to allow you to have a little bit more preparation and get the most out of this call together here at 2 p.m. Would that help you out? Cool. I'll go ahead and send that over. Confirm with me once you watch those, and then I'll see you later at 2 p.m. Boom. Now, like for example, coming into this call, you already have way more frame because you've done a lot of the work. Like you know the decision maker is going to be there. You know she's going to be at a laptop, stationary, not driving her car. You know she's actually going to have an understanding of what the fuck this call is about because she's watched the pre-call video, she's watched the FAQs, she's educated herself a decent amount before jumping on the call. Does that make sense? Yeah. I know that's already a lot of feedback, but let's get into it.
I'm struggling to like transition out of doing everything myself. Yeah. Getting to that. But like from the webinar, I think I kind of got that you guys or more maybe of like just like a dispatch type, you got the contractors and you just send the people out.
Yeah. So that's basically what we would be helping you kind of reframe your entire business to where instead of you having to work and actually go do the cleanings, you're more the managerial side of things to where you're actually, at home or wherever you need to be running the business, kind of handling all the back end. And then also just take care of the system, like your VAs and making sure, your employees and your subcontractors are doing what they're supposed to do. So a lot less work than actually having to clean the houses, every day.
Yeah. So I think when I actually just had a minute to sit down and prepare for this call, I have put in the work into my business and my business model, and I do want to scale and I do want to do those things, but I don't want to lose my brand and I don't want to lose my quality and control just for volume and scaling.
Of course. So let me ask you this, right? And obviously, just I'm not going to sit here and BS you. As we all know, no one's going to clean a house just like how you clean it. Okay. No one's going to live up to it. That's just, obvious, right? So how I like to think about it, right, is at least, if they can do it as 80% as good as you do it, then that's probably still good enough for the clients and everyone wins, right? So it's all about finding quality subcontractors, which we actually help you do via our frameworks and onboarding templates. And we also have hiring specialists that are on hand.
All right, real quick, you already know what I'm about to say. You're already selling.
Yeah, I'm already on. Like I said, my tonality, I don't know if you caught that, but my tonality, bro, I'm sitting there trying to crack a joke with her and she's all stoic. Bro, that was not even, that was bad. As soon as I saw that, I was like, bro, what am I doing?
Well, it's not, the main thing, yes, you didn't really I think, you have to remember for them, this is their very first call with you. For you, it might be the fifth, sixth call of the day. So one of the hardest things to do as a closer is you have to remember every new call that you have in your calendar is their very first and most times last impression of you and the company you sell for. So it's extremely easy to get used to being oh, here we go again. The second, third call, another biz op lead, go through the motions because they're coming off a webinar. Some are layup sales. It's easy to get lazy, but you got to remember you got to follow your process and you got to make sure that every single call you're showing up professional, you're showing up on time, you're doing the things that I already talked about pre-call because this is their literally first impression. If their first impression of us isn't holy crap, they're out of the gate. For example, when you mentioned when you bought direct deposit, you opted in, we called you within 3 minutes and then you spoke with me the night of, right? So your first impression is damn, these guys are on it, which we have to be if we're selling sales training. But we should be looking at that with all offers, right? So part of it is just mess preparation immediately. But the other thing is like you mentioned, you're kind of already cracking jokes and it's probably just because you're a bit loose, but you have to remember for her, she's got this business that she wants to grow. This is going to be a very important call for her. She just spent an hour and a half on a webinar. So when we're kind of missing that, then obviously immediately there's going to be a bit of a misconnection. And connection in sales doesn't mean you're friends, you can go have a beer together. Connection is they trust you enough to open up about their specific problems, right? You have closed prospects and you have open prospects. A closed prospect is somebody who's not going to trust you. So they're going to give you kind of the outside, the surface level answers that majority of closers are going to be able to actually get, right? When they're just selling on features and benefits, they're just selling their offer. This is why we're better. They're not able to actually get prospects to open up properly because they treat everybody the same. They don't actually try to listen and be present on every single call, understanding that that's their first impression of the company they're selling for and them, right? As a salesperson, as an actual professional over the call. Which is easy to get lost in the sauce with high ticket sales, remote sales, you work remote, whatever the case is. But for the most part, you're selling something for $5,000 plus, we gotta act like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you were being unprofessional, but for example, you're 3.5 minutes in, you're already selling. You're talking about when I mentioned features and benefits, you're already talking about the templates, you're already addressing all these different things where I would way pause and remember the process, right? You set a good frame. Then in discovery, especially with BizOp, if you're selling BizOp, and this is more if you're selling B2C, obviously, it's a little bit different with B2B. With B2C, before you start selling how we can go faster, the features and the benefits of going faster with the thing, with Jaden in this case, and all these different things, they have to be bought in on the actual business model. So even though she runs a cleaning business, it doesn't mean that she's fully bought in on remote cleaning, right? Because she as of right now has a cleaning business. She doesn't run a remote
completely different.
Business. We have to slow down and first understand so real quick before we even get into all that, because I know you're already kind of worried about hiring and certain things like that. I guess first and foremost, what made you actually kind of want to take your business remote? You see what I'm saying? I would have asked that question first instead of hey, I'm worried about this. Yeah. So there's really two things we normally do. Sell. We're already selling. And remember,
I just oversold.
Yeah. We don't want to sell. We don't want to pitch until we do a full discovery. We build a full gap. They're fully bought in the opportunity and going faster with us. We understand everything about them, damn near to the point where like you have all the ammunition, all the answers you possibly need to even handle objections at the end of the call. But we're already selling 3.5 minutes in. This is actually where you literally lost the sale pretty much right here already.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, it was cooked. Looking back at the call, it's just, like I said, it was an overall bad call. Like tonality could have been better. The process could have been better.
I don't even necessarily think your tonality is a problem. I think this is mainly framework and process. Like that's already going wrong. I know we're only 3.5 minutes in, but like just to make sure that actually hits you, understand what I'm saying is like, remember, you want to make sure that they're sold on the thing that you're selling, the opportunity, before you sell the speed. It's like if before you were bought into high ticket sales, I was trying to sell you my training and my placement and my process. You could be like, man, Clay, your process, the way you guys get people placed first, your training, your track record, all this is amazing. But bro, I don't really know I'm not really sure if I want to do high ticket sales yet. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing with biz op. A lot of people miss with B2C or especially bigger packaged biz op, especially if you're selling things like 5, 10, 15, 20 grand a month. Like, you need to make sure that they're bought in on the actual opportunity first before they buy the speed of it. That's why even with this lady, you treated her like she was already like, she's running a remote cleaning business. You probably thought she was competent, but you don't want to assume anything about a prospect. The first question is like, hey, before we even kind of jump into this policy, like what even made you want to go into like, I guess make your business go into like more remote in the first place? Like why go remote? That would have opened up a whole different can of worms, which she would have immediately told you the pain points of her current cleaning business and why she can't scale it and all these different things. The other thing is I'm thinking of, based on what she already told me, like I already know that she's tried to hire people and they didn't do a good job because that was her first thing that she said she was worried about. I would have, at the very least, I would have asked about that before selling features and benefits. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Which is crazy. I know I'm already giving you a fuck ton in 3.5 minutes, but this is how quickly you need to be like thinking. Like these small things are huge.
No, they're to be willing to be personally like trained by me because I have certain products I use, a certain system. Like I really want to keep. Oh, I think what you guys could help me with is the like how to do the hiring and you know the bookings and the phone calls and things. And I really struggle with those things. But I wouldn't want to lose. Like I would want to find those cleaners, and then I would want them to be willing to be personally like trained by me because I have certain products I use, a certain system. Like I really want to keep that part of like my brain.
Yeah. So there's two things that we normally do, right? Now, how we like to say it, and this is kind of just like our. Yo, can we skip past this?
Right? You see what I'm saying?
Bro, I'm
right back into selling.
Okay, like let's be so for real. How I look at it, it's like, bro, this is back in April. Like all this stuff, the reason I'm sitting here laughing at it, like, bro, I don't even do any of this anymore. It's like this is genuinely just like a bad call and so bad. Like,
yeah,
and she is horrible, bro. I really could have made money too. Like
this would have got you. This would have got you to 10K in commissions in April.
It would have bought me a couch. See, now I ain't got no couch.
Now you ain't got no couch. You ain't got no
I ain't got no couch. We're still in the trenches, man.
But like, you see, like this is just like the first common thing. Also, like this is what I mean by like you want to slow down and get them sold on the thing first, because like she's already talking about like I need help hiring. It's like whoa. Like before we even talk about hiring, like is she even sold on going remote? Right? Like we need to not just know like why she wants to go remote, but like why. Like okay, we know you want to go remote, but like why? And not like the corny why version, but like, hey, look, we talk to a lot of different remote, like we talk to a lot of obviously people that are looking to just like first start their first online business. But we also talk to a lot of people that have cleaning businesses in their local area. Like for you, is the reason you want to go remote so you just don't have to be in the day-to-day weeds of it? Are you trying to scale this? Like what's kind of the reason why you want to go remote in the first place? See how you tweak it versus being like, well, why?
But why?
You know what I'm saying? Like some people be like, why? Like it's kind of too broad of a question. Like where I'll make it more specific, because it's how I go from surface to actual, like going deeper and going to the core of what it is, right? And then from there, like I'm going to obviously get into like current situation, how much is her current money, like how much is her business making, things like that.
Yeah. So there's two things that we normally do, right? Now, how we like to say it, and this is kind of just like our recommendation. I can't couple out of that if it's just if I have to go see every single cleaner, train them personally on jobs. That's a lot of driving. That's a lot of time, right? Mm-hmm. So that allows me to have a bigger area by being more remote. So you would sacrifice some stuff on the back end with that. It's not the same that you can't scale your business. We're still doing, like how you would like to do it like that. It would affect you in some way, just so you know.
Because I don't think I fully want to do what you guys are doing, but I also need the help. So it'd be more maybe of a hybrid of cost rate.
See, now she's already trying to create her own, hey, I don't really know if I want to do what you guys do yet. I want to do something hybrid. Think about it this way. This is what I mean by like you lost the sale 2.5 minutes in, genuinely.
Yeah, I know authority.
If she's on this call, that literally means that, like, think about it this way. She not only clicked on an ad, went to a webinar, stayed for a full hour and a half webinar, and now she's on a sales call with us. Which means if she raises her hand and says, I need help, she goes to a webinar, still need help, goes to a call, and we don't close it, something severely got fucked up on the sales call. You see what I'm saying?
Like bad. Yeah.
And this is how like important it is, because like this one-on-one call alone, and I know obviously guys for YouTube, like this isn't like, he knows we're doing this for YouTube, so it might be sound a little bit different. But like these specific things, like bro, like you already know why this call got lost in the sauce within fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, she was
even actually, you know what's crazier even that is before the call you lost it. Like you didn't call and confirm, you didn't make sure she was on a computer, you didn't ask about partners, you didn't have her watch FAQs or pre-call. These are all things that are so important.
See, pause. She got FAQs. She got FAQs. She got text messages. She got all of that. She got confirmations.
Pause. Did you confirm that she watched them, and did you sell it in the best interest of why she should watch them? Matter of fact, what you should do is with your setter.
That didn't happen. You see, no.
And also, this is actually something to take, like, even with for the rest of the time that you're on this offer and forever, like for your whole sales experience or your whole sales career. I don't know why I'm saying all these different words.
Yeah.
With your setters, what you should do, genuinely, like, actually, this is like some of the most sauce that I could ever give you in like a setter to closer thing. In a webinar, or if you're on an offer, if it's a webinar, if it's a call funnel, but this offer does specifically have FAQs, it has pre-call assets to send people, which almost every biz op offer is going to have this. What the best thing you can do is when a setter triages them, or when a setter sets them, does an outbound set, is you actually group chat setter, closer, prospect. The closer should send the pre-call assets over because they have more authority than the setter. Yeah. And they should send a voice note on why they should watch those things. So not just like, hey, it's required to watch these videos. Make sure you're at a desktop. Make sure your partners are there. Send a voice note. Hey, real quick, before we do jump on, I want to just double check with you that, you know, obviously you have the correct Zoom link. It should be attached to the email that we actually sent over at this email. Also real quick, just make sure anybody else that needs to be here in terms of just like understanding how this works and maybe helping you work through decisions is there. I'm also going to drop you guys an actual resource link right under this voice message. This is actually going over all the most common questions that we hear from all of our clients that join, and even some of the clients that don't, even some of the people that don't join. It's going to be extremely helpful for you to go through some of these videos. That way you're completely prepared and you can get the most out of that call. Let me know when you've watched them. Look forward to speaking. Take care. Boom, sent. That little thing alone, and even better, is like sending them a FaceTime video. Not like actually FaceTime, but like doing a video.
FaceTime.
You know, like showing your face, because now it's like it's the levels of influence. They're not only like hearing you, but they're also seeing you. They can see you're a genuine person, and you're giving them resources. You're literally giving them things before they speak to you. So
yeah, I did that on my real estate offer. I just need to start doing that again.
Like that's huge. That'll also pick up show rates heavily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But obviously we know there's a few things that we did wrong so far, but let's keep moving.
Recommendation, right? The recommendation is keeping everything fully remote, as in where you don't have to really even meet your subcontractors in person ever. Now, obviously, you can do it your way.
Because I don't hire fully, so it'd be more maybe of a hybrid if possible.
Yeah, no, it's every single business is personal. You know, we have
now she's selling you on the hybrid idea already.
Actually, I think we have 199 students. We're at 199 students in the program right now.
Selling again.
Okay. And out of 199 students, that's 199 different cleaning businesses that are different.
It's actually a really good call to review, because I know a lot of you guys watching this, you guys think that you're doing a better job than Cooper, but I guarantee you're not. You guys all do this stuff. You jump on the call, you set a frame, you're like, cool, and then you just start talking and selling the whole time, and you wonder why people don't want to buy.
Structured with different personalities and different people, right? So obviously we have to be adaptive to, to the actual student of who we're working with. So we 100% can adapt to that. I just wanted to give you the heads up with like, hey, like, just so you know, like that might affect some stuff on the back end for expansion wise, but it's not like you're still not going to feel
You're just talking your face off.
Personally, not doing chance let something scale and whatnot. If I did scale, I guess more so I wouldn't. Right now, it would need me personally training, but ultimately, it's like I would want to hire people that could train and then do those stuff personally. So I guess I still do want to scale, but then prefer scale as fast as just
going remote.
Completely.
100%. I mean, how do you catch me on your business as a whole right now? What are you bringing?
So again, like this is what I mean by you got to make sure they're bought in on the opportunity. Which for her specifically, she was running a cleaning business and she wanted to go remote. But we didn't get any whys behind it. We didn't really get a real answer. It's just I personally go trading, and ultimately,
I did discover that.
We're gonna keep watching. But for example, immediately you're like, yeah, 100%. You kind of bypassed it. You got to confirm that first, because believe it or not, bro, in BizOp, that's 80% of the sale. 80% of the sale is them being bought into the opportunity. Once they're fully bought in, for example, when you are fully bought into high ticket sales, My program was easy to say yes to because we do placement first. We have guarantees. We have track records. We have very like tight tracking and everybody. Like you can see that it's a legitimate business. This isn't like some thrown together bullshit. But you had to be bought into high ticket sales first. So you had to make sure that this is something you still wanted to do. You just knew you had to get a better offer, better training, whatever the case is. Same here. You want to make sure that they're bought in to running a remote cleaning business. That's 80% of it. I want to make it super clear because then the rest of the call is easy. Once they're bought in, then it's like, okay, well, let's walk through where you're currently at, which you're getting to. But you see how we kind of bypassed it? We didn't really confirm this.
Okay, 100%. I mean, like, how does it on your business, like, as a whole right now? Like, what are you bringing in revenue-wise per month?
That's where I struggle. I'm also struggling.
Okay.
The numbers side of things, I'm more of, I just work and I get through it each day. And then by the time I get home, the mental load is just like, I don't know, I'm just paying all my bills and I really need to sit down and try and get more clear on that side of stuff too.
Okay, so if you had to like guesstimate though, I mean, would you say like around what number that you're bringing in? Just because like I got to kind of see what we're working with or how we can help.
Anywhere from like 5 to 10 grand a month.
In revenue or take home? Do you know the difference?
I mean, I haven't like calculated like taking out for what I spend on cleaning supplies and all that yet. No.
Okay, so we'll just put 5 to 10K. Yeah, like that.
Okay, I understand why you did this, but like slow down again, right? Like 5 to 10K. The first thing is like, okay, was it like 5 or is it 10? Like, you know, that's some months we're doing double than others. Like, is it 5 or is it 10? Like, what'd you do last month? What about the month before that? Like, so far, how much have we done this quarter? We'll get very specific.
I think the whole reason I didn't do that is because like she obviously doesn't know how much she's done this quarter. She obviously has no idea what she's done a couple months back because she doesn't even know.
How do you know though?
Revenue. She even said she doesn't even keep her revenue. Like, if you don't even know your revenue, how are you going to know what you've done in the past quarter? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but like you cut her off. You're like, do you know the difference?
I did cut her off. I did hella cut her off. Yeah.
You gotta like let it sit and marinate because like sometimes you have to help people through it. Because if she's like, well, I don't really know my expenses. It's like, okay, well, let's actually break it down, right? Like, how much do you pay your clean? How much do you pay for supplies? How much do you charge each job? And how many jobs have you done this month? You can actually kind of help them do the math together. You're leading them. Remember, like you're leading the call the whole way through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, like, how does that on your business, like, as a whole right now? Like, okay. And do you have any other cleaners or is it just you right now?
It's just me, and I have a couple people that I've like used randomly and whatnot, but it's pretty much just been me. And then like I have a rental business and I've had 5-star reviews for 2 years straight, and I finally let go and had someone I trusted clean it, and they gave me a bad review because my cleaner left a whole thing of trash underneath the sink. So
no.
Those are the types of things that's just like, okay, I finally let go, and it's like it was not perfect, and that really bothers me.
Yeah, no, 100%. I completely understand that. I mean, like, and you said you've been in this business for how long? Like, you've been doing it for how long?
I mean, I've been cleaning for probably almost 20 years now.
How long have you had your business specifically for?
So I made it an actual LLC like 2 years ago.
Okay, so you've been in corporate for 2 years. Okay, I mean, like, do you have a goal of like, let's say we are able to help you, right? Like, we get you on board, everything like that today. Like, do you have a goal of maybe how much you want to be bringing on per month, say 3 months down the line from now?
3 months?
Bro, what is going on? Okay,
you gotta cut this part. But bro, I told you it was a bad call. This entire thing is really gonna make everyone. I swear to God, if I ever have to get a new offer and any sales manager has seen this shit, they're gonna think I don't know how the fuck to do my job.
No, you're good.
This call was so bad.
You're good because you're good because like you obviously pop back. I mean, this is just a bad call, but like this is a lot. Think about it this way. There's a lot that you can learn from this call. That's the beautiful thing about it. Like even like honestly, for the people watching this, like this is like you saw the commissions. He's pretty much right under. Like if he would have closed this, he would have been at 10K in commissions. First month on the offer, like you still have shitty calls. It is what it is, bro. Like you're gonna learn from certain things.
Yeah.
Like it's part of the game. It's gonna humble you. That's why it's important to get like training. So here's the thing though, is like let's just like make sure that you actually learn from it. Notice how like we have in a process. We have current situation, which you started to get there. Okay. In a biz op, it's make sure they bought an opportunity. Then you get current situation. How much are we making? We didn't really get a real answer. How long have you been stuck there? Which you started to get there, but you asked like how many cleaners, which is fine. You're getting more context in the business. There's nothing wrong with that. But then like one of the main things is she immediately addressed like, I've tried to hire somebody and I got my first bad star. And then she's been doing this for 20 years. And we kind of skipped over all. We skipped over.
I should have hit on that.
We skipped over all that.
There's so much pain there.
We skipped over all that, and then it was like, all right, so let's say we get you onboarded today. What's your goal?
Credit or debit? Like we just
like you skipped over all of that. You know what I'm saying? There was like probably a good 10 minutes of like deep pain that we could have found there. And you have to remember, like, dude, there's no, like, in order for someone to buy, they have to make a decision to change. And there's no change without what?
I have no clue.
There's no change without pain. No one will actually think about it. There's no think about, like, I always use the example of like alcoholics as I'm like drinking a beer. But think about it, like alcoholics, right? They will never quit until it gets to the point where they like literally putting their family at risk. Sometimes they still don't. But like they're like think about like the most like worst scenarios you've heard of, like drug addicts, alcoholics, stuff like this. To give you an extreme example of what I mean by like there's no change without pain. They will not change until, think about like certain drug addicts. They'll literally overdose and not die in order to finally get sober, right? Or they'll like kill someone in a car accident, to be really extreme. But like they'll do something that is so bad, like it literally takes to the point where like they literally have to put people's life at danger or their own life at danger before they finally decide to get sober. That's how much pain they put it through. That's obviously an extreme example, but like I've always remembered on my sales calls is there's two things. I have to know the actual truth of why this person is here on this call. And usually that's because what I said earlier, they raise their hand and they have a problem. So this is what I mean. Like this is an example of a closed prospect. She's trying to be open. She's trying to share some things, but we're not giving her the chance to fully open because we're just moving through our process blindly. What's the next goal? You're probably going to ask about, does she have some, financial literacy? Can she make an investment? You're probably going to rush into that next because you're just going through the motions. You're treating her like another sales call versus like, this is the first time Polina's,
Crystallizing it.
right? Like this is her first impression of us. Like this call is their first and last time she's probably going to meet Cooper. Like you got to treat it that way, as corny as it sounds, because it's going to allow you to go smoother. You're going to genuinely be way more actual attentive and present with the prospect and listen for certain things to know how to open them up and know how to get them to disarm and find the true pain, because there's no change without it. There's no way for her to go take her current cleaning business that she's doing all the cleaning, she's doing everything herself, and making a big decision to hire people, which she's tried before and it didn't work, to go fully remote, which she's never run a remote business or managed people remotely. But on top of that, to like grow her business, because she's been stuck at 5 to 10K, which we don't even know which one is that, for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pain. And the worst part is she did have money to invest. You know it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, when you say like, this was like her first and probably last time meeting me, it definitely was the first and last, because she ghosted on the follow-up. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, it's literal too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like you see, like we completely skipped that whole point of going deep into like why she's actually here, why she wants to do it, why a remote cleaning business, where her business is actually at. Like how much is she actually making, and helping her do the math? So she's been running this business for 20 years. How's she acquiring, right? Like think about any business. How's she acquiring business? Is it just referrals? Is she running ads? Is she doing cold calls? Is she doing cold outbound? There's only 4 ways to get leads in any business, right? You reach out to people you don't know, you reach out to people you do know, or AKA referrals, you run paid ads, you make content. So how's she currently even getting business, and how has she been getting business for 20 years? And how's that worked and how has that not worked? You see what I'm saying? There's so many little things that we just completely missed that we could have spent a good 15 to 20 minutes finding out why was she really here, all the different things that were going wrong. Because the more that you're able to get a prospect to open up and tell you all the things that are not working and have not worked and how long they've been stuck there, you're automatically building urgency, because they know that the cost of not doing anything about all these problems is bigger than the cost of not making a decision at the end of the call.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean by you have to be aligned from the front to the back, because you have to be that person that's like holding them accountable from the go. So then at the end of the call, when you try handling objections, she actually trusts you and actually respects you for holding her accountable, because you found all this shit that was going wrong with her business and how that was also affecting her personal life and X, Y, and Z and the people around her. It goes very deep. It goes all the way down to like, I talked to you guys earlier about this, but like, like we have the features and benefits, which you've already been doing for the last 7.5 minutes on this call. But you also have to look at like the next levels in sales. Is like she already, like, for example, the next thing is, I would say, behaviors, right? So like, what has she done to get her business to this point? What has she done to try to scale it? Why hasn't that worked? Why is she stuck? And getting her to actually hold herself accountable, turn herself from a victim to actually like, man, this is the things that I haven't been able to figure out, or I don't know how, right? Because a lot of people are going to buy something because they either don't know how or they need the accountability to do it. The next thing is beliefs. So she has belief systems around the fact that she's trying to hire somebody. They didn't do a good job as she did. She never wants to hire anybody again because she had a negative impact. Someone left a bad review. That's a very deep belief that's been rooted. I would have asked, how long ago was that? Probably was years ago. And she still thinks about it. And she's let that small thing, that tiny little bad review from hiring someone, keep her for the last 20 years from growing her business because of that single belief that she hasn't broken yet. Right?
Yeah.
And the next thing is obviously identity. That goes a little bit deeper into like, you're really helping someone make a decision based on who, like where they want to be and the identity of that person. How does that person make decisions? But you're not even close there yet, right? Like you have to work your way up.
Yeah.
Like in a discovery process, it goes from just why they're here because of the features and benefits of the ads. So then it actually gets into like, okay, what are their behaviors as of right now? Why are they actually at their current situation? Why are things not working? What have they tried? All the different things. You're building ammunition for how you can be different. But also you're trying to find their current beliefs and why they feel like they're a victim of the problem that they currently have and why it's not their fault and where they're pointing the fingers to actually help them, change their mindset, which essentially is helping them look through a different lens and realizing that, okay, there's also things that I probably haven't actually done to grow my business myself. And this is another reason why I'm stuck. And I don't have the accountability. I don't have the know-how. And also the identity of, you want to grow your business to X, Y, and Z, but like, what does that person running that business make decisions on? Does that person let one bad hire and a bad review keep her from growing her business for the last 20 years? You see how deep you could have went? Like
I could have went way deeper.
We missed a ton. And this isn't even 10 minutes in.
Yeah. This is a pretty, like, not too long of a call, but I mean, like, decently long.
Yeah, now we're talking about taxes. I mean,
Oh, there you go. I mean, let me ask you this: like, have you ever tried a program or mentorship like this before? Or?
see, this is a classic example of just going through the script. Let's keep moving though. Have you tried something before? Obviously, she probably hasn't.
Yeah, 100%. We have a very active community. Like I said, we have like 199 people, students currently in the program.
Selling again?
Selling it 11 minutes in again.
How are
It's
you
like the
thinking
third
about making
time.
that next step with like funding wise? Or are you thinking more kind of
Now you're asking about funds, right? Like these are, I don't want to keep beating you up. I know I've already like tore apart this thing in like 10 minutes, but this is what I mean by like, even for yourself, right? Like obviously we have these one-on-one calls every other week, but even for yourself, like notice how you can figure out all the problems of your calls by just watching the first 10 minutes and then watching after you drop price. Like let's actually go look at where did we drop price? Because I want to show you exactly why this deal didn't close.
No, it's way, way down because that's still like breakdown, like 15 minutes.
I can't.
Okay, so like, yeah, okay, this is pretty much the last 10 minutes from temp check.
I just go nonstop all the time, so.
Okay. I mean, like, think about it like this. This is truthfully, the reason I ask is because just like how I went down from week 1 through week 10, right? To stay on track in the order that I went on track like that, you need to dedicate at least an hour to an hour and a half a day.
All right, so oftentimes, like obviously, like Cooper moving forward, like this is what I mean by like call reviews is like you can literally find out what you did wrong within the first 10 minutes and then like right after you drop price.
Yeah.
Right, because we already know why she's not going to move forward based on your first 10 minutes. She's not even fully
100%.
bought in yet that she wants to go from a cleaning business to a remote cleaning business. And she has a bunch of fears around hiring. She has, like, we didn't really discover the real root pain of why she's here and really build real urgency for why she's got to make a change. That's really why it didn't close. But like, let's look through the objection handling and see if you actually did a temp check.
That's more of exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and until then, that's exactly exactly what I'm kind of thinking too on that end. Is until then, you'll kind of be more hands on with it because because you choose to be. You don't have to be, but because you want to be more hands on with it. And then as soon as you get your lead, then your lead can start doing those random drop ins and making sure they're using the right products. And your lead will probably also be dispensing it. Things like that. So again, yeah, it's not like you're gonna run into an issue on that end. Now, speaking on the program wise, obviously personally, I kind of had a little bit biased. I feel like our wins and kind of our community and everything that we offer speaks for itself, and kind of like the value and actually what we do here. But we do have a guarantee. This is in the agreement that will get finalized today if we get you onboarded. It's in writing, everything like that. What it is if you don't hit 20K a month in revenue within 4 months of working with us, Jaden will keep working with you for free until you do, and you're going to earn a 30% credit back into investment. Now, this is, again, in writing, it's in the agreement, so it's not just, I'm on the call BSing you. The floor is built in on this, so if I'm going to be completely transparent like I've been with you throughout this entire call, the risk on this isn't you failing, and especially in your case, the only risk here is you not starting, like genuinely.
I know.
Like, I don't think you're going to fail. I think you've already, you clearly have the work ethic for it. You're clearly very structured, so failure, I know, is not going to happen for you. It genuinely is like, let's just figure out how we can make this work so you actually take the steps that you need to take to make your business turn into what you want it to be.
Not bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, like kind of with everything being said, right? Like price aside, on a scale of like 1 to 10, just on like everything we've talked about so far today, okay? Where would you say you're at with that? Like 1 being, I don't know, Cooper, like I feel like I've heard all this before, I'm really not sure. And then 10 being like, this is actually checking my boxes. And as long as we can make the numbers work on this thing, it's a green light. Again, I'm a grown man, you're not going to hurt my feelings or anything like that. But
Oh, I mean, it's definitely over a 5, but
I'm not impulsive.
All right, so real quick, I'm glad you did the temp check. Now, with the temp check, it was when you're asking the 1 through 10, you have to have really good tonality. Like you were like way too friendly, smiling, like you made it corny.
I was way
So,
too friendly.
The
dude.
1 through
Yeah,
10, the
I
1
was
through
like,
10 can
bro.
be corny if you're not careful. People won't like it. Now shit with BizOp you can get away with it because they haven't been sold to, but like I do the 1 through 10 temp check on like extremely sophisticated people that literally know, like they've been on sales calls. The reason it works though is I'm not like, so like 1 through 10, like you're, you know, like you're smiling, you're almost like too happy about it. Like asking 1 through 10, like, hey, I'm a grown man, don't worry. Like you want to make it more of a specific question because you're gearing up to drop price. You're
Yeah, so
literally
kind of
gearing
like
up.
change the
so
tonality of the
tone
conversation. Like,
it,
hey,
it's really more like you really want to do it more so where it's like, cool. Well, look, I mean, before we kind of jump into this, obviously we have a bunch of different kind of offers for you, and it can get pretty custom. But I know I've just kind of been blabbing my mouth at you for the last 20 minutes. So like, I guess just like before we kind of jump into that, price aside, when you're just kind of looking at the program, how would you actually genuinely feel about it? Make it easier for you, Paulina. Like one being, you feel like you've seen this before. It's nothing really new. It just doesn't really feel like it's what you actually want to do. That's totally okay, by the way. And 10 is like, no, this is checking all the boxes. Like this is how I feel like I can really turn my business to actually bring it into more remote, grow it to where I need to do it. And you do feel like this is checking those boxes that, you know, we talked about earlier on the call. Like, where do you feel like you're on that scale? I'm a bit more like, you sound very specific. I'm extremely specific, and my tone is a little bit more, it goes from like, it's a bit more authoritative, and it's a bit more like, I'm gearing up to drop price. So I want to talk business, and I want to know where she's at. I want to know what the real objection is. Because oftentimes the 1 through 10, like this is where the real objections come out before we can drop price. So we can handle those objections, those big fears, those big concerns before we get into the big bad price where the objection's going to come out again regardless. But right off of the temp check, you're going to have a really good top of mind reason for why she wants to do this and why it checks her boxes before she gives the next concern out. So the whole goal is like, even with this whole process, right? Even like that's not a question we missed in discovery. Like in discovery, we never asked her, hey, what boxes do you feel like you need checked off? What's your criteria when you're looking at like actually genuinely getting your business to actually go remote and grow it to this goal, whatever the case is, right? That's why I also ask like criteria on boxes check questions and timeline questions early in the call, because then at the end when I'm doing a temp check, like I'm framing it in the same messaging. I'm like, hey, like 10 is it checks all your boxes. So I find the boxes that they need checked off in discovery. I pitch them those exact fucking boxes. And then before I drop in a price, I'm dropping a temp check on, hey, it's 10. Like I'm trying to figure out, did these check the boxes if that's a 10 out of 10. So it always aligns. Yeah. Like they hear the same things multiple times, but I'm like kind of knowing already, I'm already pitching them the things that they literally told me in the beginning of the call that we're checking their boxes. So then when they give me a shitty answer, it's like, well, I guess like just for full transparency, I know you mentioned like these were kind of the things that you were looking for. I mean, did we not, like, do you feel like these aren't being delivered? After I just pitched all the things that she said she wanted. You see what I'm saying? Like they can't really, like you're winning. You're going to win. You're going to win that conversation. And the beauty about being like a good salesperson is you get to choose where the conversation is going to go, and you get to choose how to lead the conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Let's see what she said.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely over a 5, but I'm not an impulsive person, so I will need the rest of tonight to think and whatnot. Because, I mean, like honestly, what you said, I have a lot of ideas. Like I know a lot of these
I
things.
might not need a job, right?
I struggle with the accountability, building my confidence, and like. But
Let me ask you this, right? Like you said, you're not an impulsive person, but there's a difference between impulsivity and then just not taking action. Okay, there is, and it seems like you.
All right, so right here, what are you doing? This is the complete opposite of Siver. What is
start reframing?
Right?
I just started reframing.
Yeah, Siver is like you need to ask clarifying questions, and instead in questions. Right now, you're immediately making statements. And remember, with objection handling, like they can't disagree with questions. They can disagree with this statement of like, well, is it impulsive or is it not taking action? So I can be like, no, it feels impulsive. They can literally disagree with this.
Yeah.
Also, you already know this. I mean, bro, if they're giving you anything less than a 7, you fucked up that discovery. Like,
completely cooked. Yeah, I already knew that too.
You cooked the discovery call.
I should have asked like tie downs prior to, like, especially when she said 5, but like I really didn't. I think I just immediately went to target like her thought process of I need to think about it instead of actually like breaking things down and then targeting it later after she kind of opened up more. So that's definitely where I cooked this part.
Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, anything under a 7 on this, like, is you usually really cook something in discovery. It's pretty normal, like, to do a decent, even if you do a decent discovery and someone still gives you a 7 or 8, just because it's like a lot of people don't believe in perfect 10s, right? And they're gonna have those little concerns with price and shit like that. But like, this is a telltale sign that discovery folded. But then right away, like Siver is like you're trying to clarify what a real objection is, which really the only 3 real objections are trust, fear, and urgency. I guess logistics as well, but trust and fear are kind of the same thing. They're just uncertain whether this thing's actually going to work. And actually, for example, I can already tell you what her objection is. It's uncertainty around the fact that she feels like she can personally make this work, because she's personally tried to hire people. She's tried to do something similar, even on her own. It didn't work. And she's been doing the same thing for 20 years, which goes back into beliefs and identity, which is like, how are you going to take someone that hasn't been able to make a decision to change for 20 years to make them change in the next hour? Think about that.
Yeah, it's completely cooked.
That's why, like, it's so important to take your time in discovery and genuinely get an understanding of what the truth is, and holding them accountable to their goals and holding them accountable to the actions they're not taking in objection handling. Right now, we're not even clarifying what the real objection is. We're just making statements around the fact that she's wrong.
So I know it's, genuinely something that is a problem for you. I guarantee that normally when you get in situations like this, or when you're trying to do
right now, you're assuming things about her instead of asking. You don't want to ever assume.
No, that wasn't an assumption. That was from her words earlier. I remember this lady specifically iterated at the beginning of our calls and like previously too, that she has an issue with taking action on things that she knows she needs to take action on. So I was reiterating her statement later in the close.
But instead of reiterating it, you should be turning that into a what?
Like what? Like more like a question, or more like something for me to dive deeper on?
Question.
Like making her pull it apart. Yeah.
So this is what I mean by like pulling out identity, is like, okay, so like, Paulina, you mentioned earlier in this call that, when you get into situations where you feel like you can grow, but it's a scary decision, you always push it away. So how do you expect to get to XYZ goal by doing things the exact same way that has been keeping you from doing more? You just let it sit. You have to ask them a question, because they have to feel like they're the ones making the decisions to change. We can't make them change. They have to feel it, and they have to make the decision that they no longer want to put space and time between the decision to get better, between the decision to change their situation. They have to make that decision. We have to guide them to it, but we can't guide them to it unless we're asking leading questions, not just making assumptions. That's why I want to clarify certain things. I'm trying to clarify what that real objection is. Otherwise, you're trying to handle 15 objections at once versus one. So pretty much the whole idea of SIVR, and for those of you watching, again, I have a full 12-hour course. There's a big section on SIVR if you want to go look into it. SIVR is just a framework that we use for any objection, because a lot of times people tell you, I need to think about it. For her, she was like, hey, I have to feel like this is an impulsive decision. These are all what we call smoke screens. And if you try to handle one at a time, you're going to handle 30 objections, versus clarifying, and trying to understand what the specific real objection is, which is really for her going to be uncertainty. She's just uncertain that it's going to work. Now you're only handling the objection of her being uncertain instead of 15 objections that she was going to throw at you. That's what isolate comes in, right? So you're clarifying that. Then you're isolating on the one objection that she has, the real objection, validating and acknowledging that it's okay and that you hear her and you understand her and it's normal. And then you set up your reframe, because you actually earn the right to do it. So the way I think about reframes is you have to earn the right to label them with the correct problem before you reframe. You can't just throw out a reframe like, hey, let me give you a perspective, or, hey, well, you told me this. Because the reality is it's the same way. Think about it this way, Cooper. Like in discovery, you have to label somebody with a problem that is the correct problem. Meaning you have to ask them questions. You have to get an idea of their current situation, why they're actually here on the call, what they've tried, why hasn't it worked, all the specific things that has been continually holding them back, what happens if they don't make any type of change, what their goals are, why they want those goals, what things they need from us to hit those goals, what changes if they hit those goals, and also their timeline on making a decision if they can find something that can help them with those goals. All these things allow you to label them, saying, hey, based on our conversation so far, I have no doubt that we can help you out, because you've earned it. You sat through 30 minutes of them telling you the problems. You've earned the right to tell them, hey, we can help you. I've heard you out.
Yeah.
So with the SIVR and with objection handling, it's kind of the same thing. Like you have to earn the right to reframe, which means you have to clarify and understand what the real objection is and isolate on what that real objection is. Then you've earned the right to actually reframe it, because you've actually diagnosed their specific concern, their specific objection the correct way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. I get where you're coming from.
Obviously, there's a lot that we can go into. Well, hopefully this is showing you guys too, and just literally just one single, 1 hour one-on-one call, how much you can find gaps in your sales calls, even for someone that's literally genuinely about to pass 10K in commissions. Now, obviously, I'm going to help Cooper out here. This is not a regular call. This is a bad call. Cooper's had much better calls than this. I've seen them. But it just goes to show you, even someone that's at a level that a lot of you guys watching this want to be at, you're still going to fuck up. You're still going to miss certain things. You're still going to go through the motions. You're still going to miss a lot of things that, for example, obviously to wrap this call up, Cooper, I'm not sitting here and telling you have to go fix 1,000 things at once. there's really I would say 2 to 3 main things you should be working on. Number one is like cross your T's and dot your I's, right? Like go by your rules. Make sure you're calling them before the call and getting those like little small things out the way. Those little small things matter, right? Making sure their computer, make sure their decision makers are going to be there, making sure they've seen it and actually digested and consumed the pre-call material. Those things are important. Then obviously is like, you have to make sure with offers is you're selling them on the opportunity first before you get into their current situation. Those are like 2 really big things in your discovery. Like you didn't sell her on like what the actual opportunity was, which is taking her cleaning businesses and actually making it remote. That's 80% of the sale. Because then from there, if you would have actually taken your time with that, you would have gotten way deeper in like her actual real situations and understanding and probing those certain things and knowing what's actually the real goal here and why she wants it and how long she's been stuck and all these different things. And then the third thing I would tell you is like, again, even in objection handling, you're selling too hard. You got to ask questions. You got to slow down and you got to understand why she wants this. She's got to make the decision. You can't make it for her. And you make a lot of statements in your objections as well. She gives you an objection, you make a statement, right? We got to turn those statements into questions. So those are really the main things. Then obviously outside of that is like, after the call, getting your off call SOPs dialed in, like making sure you're dragging this chick to did not close or you're following up with her the next day, right? You're putting that person in a pipeline to go do a call review with. You're role playing the specific things that we've actually worked on today. Like there's a lot of things that like, homework, even after this call that you can do, right? Is like, go look at your last 3 sales calls. Look at the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes. See if you've made similar mistakes. Go audit your pipeline. Did you drag her into the right stage or did you just leave her here because you're like, fucking, I didn't close that one. It is what it is. Did you communicate with your setter on the reasons like, hey, she didn't show up with her computer? You didn't group me with her in a group message. Right? There's a lot of little things you can take away from this. Obviously, I continue the Fathom recording and with notes, so you just kind of have your action points. But there's just a lot to learn from this. But dude, I mean, regardless, I know it's getting late. I appreciate you kind of let me use a shitty call. I know it's. By the way, it takes some balls to jump on and like let me use like a really shitty call of yours. So like I appreciate you, Cooper, for doing this. Guys, like he's had way better sales calls. This isn't our first one-on-one. Like he's been able to like he's made leaps from this. But I appreciate you actually being able to like go find and dig up an old call that wasn't great that you would be a really good call for this video. I think it's gonna help a lot of people out. And dude, outside of that, obviously I'll see you here in a couple weeks on the next one. Obviously see you in the group calls, but let's keep ripping. You got anything else for the people before we kind of wrap this up?
No, man. I mean, I think that's about it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, man. Like, no matter really what level you're at, like, you're always gonna fuck up. Like, it's inevitable. It happens either way. So, like, trying to chase perfection, you're just gonna get cooked every time, pretty much, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's 1% better every day. But bro, I know it's late. I'll let you run. I'm gonna wrap this up. Shoot an outro for this video. Let's go. Keep stacking deals up this week.
Dude, that's all I do. All right.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. All right. So that's what a real coaching session looks like. No slides, no theory, no just general advice that doesn't apply to the specific offer that you're selling. Cooper came to us, stuck around $5 to $6 grand a month. Within a single month, he got placed on a better offer and actually shot his commission just under 10K within his first month. But now he's actively doing over 10K a month. What you saw was a diagnosis, the fix, and the actual action plan after. If you're sitting at 2 or 3K a month of commissions and you know you could probably be on a better offer where you have a better earning potential, or there's real skill gap that needs to actually be developed and you need to be in a community where you can actually get real feedback just like what you saw and actually be held accountable to the goals that you have, click the link below for guaranteed placement within the next 7 to 14 days and real advanced training on the specific offer that we place you on. With that being said, talk to you guys soon. More videos on the way.